Hey, what is up guys, it's Thunderstruck115, and today I got a pretty short video for y'all. I don't intend for it to be very long. So let me just get right to the point. So, remember my recent video responding to ReviewTechUSA? Well, some random motherfucker by the name of Lethal Dumpster got triggered as fuck at it and left me this pretty long comment, so that's what this video is going to be responding to, because it is fucking hilarious. I've never really done a video where I, respond to, something written, like an article or a comment before, so I'll try to give you my best reading voice. So let's see what YouTube has in store for us today. In fact, you know who would be perfect for reading the comment today? The man, the myth, the legend himself, Big Man Thunders. What's up, guys? Big Man Thunder's back with another video. So before we get started, I just want to remind you to smash that like button, hit subscribe, share this video, all that good stuff. And I want to give a shout out to all my subscribers, new and old. You guys are awesome, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. With all that said, let's get right into the video, guys. Narrow. That is the outlook both you and ReviewTechUSA unfortunately appear to have on this situation. A lot of what ReviewTechUSA's takes are absolutely blown out of proportion, but in some cases could be true. Care to elaborate on that, my dude? I literally stated in the video that I thought ReviewTechUSA was a pretty good channel. I just think that this specific take of his is bad. Saying this VFX artist is not a game developer is completely wrong. A game developer is anyone who works on developing a game. No, it's not. A game developer is a software developer who works on a game, meaning the people that fucking program it and optimize it. Now, VFX artists are certainly very important to making a game. At no point did I say that they weren't. But because they aren't programming the game or optimizing it, that by definition means they are not a developer. And guess what? Visual effects have to be developed for a game. And beyond that, a VFX artist often has to be able to ensure their work can perform on the hardware in question. This is funny because he's about to contradict himself in the next sentence. They communicate with software engineers to determine what it's capable of, and have to tune how the VFX is designed. So you just admitted that it's not the VFX artists who are determining what's a bottleneck and what isn't, but instead it's the people programming the game telling them how crazy they can go with the effects. So yeah, thank you for proving my point. Say, 2 decades ago, an explosion had to be a single flat square with a flipbook animation of an explosion on it. Nowadays, a VFX artist can make this a live simulation with thousands of particles, for example. A VFX artist has to know the power at hand to determine the design of the effects they will develop. And like you said earlier, it's the fucking software engineers and developers that are telling the VFX artists how powerful the hardware is and how crazy they can go with them. They're not the ones optimizing the game. nor are they determining what graphical settings are going to be running on each specific instance of the game. It's the people working with the code who are able to determine, based on the hardware levels and the amount of optimization, how crazy the graphics can be. Like, you're obviously not going to see something as crazy on an Xbox One version of the game as you would on the Series X version of that same game. Another important thing to note is that this really doesn't have anything to do with the gameplay, which was really the whole point of the video. Maybe, yeah, they can't make as crazy big graphics as they want to on the Series S as much as they can on the Series X and PS5 versions of the game, but the gameplay would still be able to work as long as the graphics were scaled back appropriately and appropriate optimization was applied. Because here's a very important thing to remember. Most people buying a Series S don't really care about crazy graphics or high resolutions or insane performance. They just want to play some next-gen games at an affordable price.
Also, the game you helped make has simple graphics. Therefore, you don't know what you're talking about. Stance is despicable. That is a malicious and unproductive way of determining what someone knows.
If pointing out an obvious fact that simpler and less impressive graphics don't tax the hardware as much as more impressive graphics do, and that therefore they are not bottlenecked by the Series S considering that we have many games that have far more impressive graphics and performance on the system makes me despicable, then call me Gru. Like, this dude seriously has the energy of a Twitter user where they get pissed off because of you pointing out a basic fucking fact. Like, this should just be an obvious fact to anyone who plays on PC or just understands technology in general. When the graphics are less impressive, they don't tax the hardware as much. Unless, of course, the optimization job is complete fucking shit.
I also feel the need to point out that it's these developers who were working on games that aren't particularly impressive that are complaining about the Series S. Meanwhile, we have games like Plague Tale Requiem, Scorn, Far Cry 6, Modern Warfare 2, Deathloop, and Cyberpunk 2077 all running on the Series S. Games which look far and away more impressive, meaning they should be taxing the hardware more, and yet despite that, none of the developers for those games have been complaining about the Series S being a bottleneck. So a developer with a game that doesn't even look that much more impressive than a typical Xbox One game complaining about the Series S being a bottleneck, or a bunch of developers who have made games that are visually very impressive that haven't said a word about the Series S being a bottleneck. You tell me which one I should listen to.
To speak on hardware holding back games, it's sorta true for a reason you haven't appeared to discover. Time and money. A studio often has a publisher above them with strict deadlines and budgets.
Wow, you mean developers have deadlines to meet? Like every other job in the world? Oh my god, what a revelation! You heard it, guys. Apparently developers have deadlines that they need to meet. I guess this means we should completely hold them to no standard at all, and not expect value for the money that they expect us to give them.
And making your game look good at lowest settings for something like the Series S is hard when your game is built to intentionally max out the power of the Series X. You have limited time and limited budget. A requirement for S and X by the publisher and the studio is that the game has to look good on both hardware.
Again, I feel the need to point out that a lot of people buying a Series S don't really care that much about graphics or resolution or insane performance. They just want to be able to play current-gen games at an affordable price. And generally, they don't really care if that means that they need to downgrade the graphics from the Series X version to get it to work on the Series S. Because chances are, if they did care about that shit, they would have gotten a Series X or a PS5 or a high-end PC anyway.
You've made the reductive stance that it's just like a PC. You can turn down the graphics and it will run. This does not hold up when your game has to look good.
You literally just defeated your own fucking argument, dude. Because if it did, why do developers go out of their way to make sure that their games can run on lower spec PCs? Simple, to reach the widest audience possible. Because some people, again, don't really care all that much about graphics. They just want to have some fun playing games. And the people that do care about graphics have a higher end PC or a PS5 or a Series X. If someone on a low spec PC was bitching that the graphics suck, people would just tell them to upgrade their PC. So is it really that much of a stretch to say that obviously a budget console is not going to have graphics as pretty as the higher end consoles? And that if they want the better graphics, they can get the higher end consoles? Crazy, right?
If a new title uses a new technology for lighting, such as Lumen in Unreal Engine 5, which barely even runs on the highest spec hardware without resolution scaling, you can't set Lumen to low and just let it run on older hardware. This technology is strict to high-performance machines.
Okay, and how exactly is that the fault of the Series S? To me, that sounds more like a problem with Unreal Engine 5. And again, if it's so taxing on high-performance machines, then you can always just, not use it on the Series S version? As you're about to elaborate in this next sentence.
Sure, you could turn it off and let lower-end hardware use older lighting tech, but the game will absolutely look drastically different if you do so, depending on the context of the game.
Well, no fucking shit.
So you just admitted that you can disable this feature on lower-end machines, which they could do on a Series S version. In fact, they've done it before. Well, I'm not sure about Lumen specifically, but look at ray tracing. There are several games this generation that have ray tracing on the Series X version, but not the S version. And sure, it doesn't look as good, but again, the Series S is a budget machine, so it's not meant to look as good in order to save cost for the consumer. And with the exception of Gotham Knights, pretty much every game this generation that has ray tracing lets you disable it anyway for better performance.
Making the game look good for both old and new lighting tech would require environment artists to work way harder to design the lighting around both versions. And then have software engineers program ways to switch between them. This is very time-consuming to account for and very costly.
Well, evidently it's not too costly for pretty much every AAA game with ray tracing to do that, because the only example of a game this generation with ray tracing that doesn't let you disable it that I know of is Gotham Knights. And that game was poorly optimized to begin with, so that's not exactly a great example. But look at any other game with ray tracing. Look at Deathloop. Look at Black Ops Cold War. Look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Look at Dying Light 2. All of those versions let you swap between a ray tracing mode and a non-ray tracing mode. So yeah, it's certainly possible. But just you wait, guys. This next sentence is the cherry on top.
Having the Steam Deck as the minimum spec target hardware makes using modern technologies insanely difficult.
Hold the fuck up. I thought the Series S was the minimum spec, but now you're telling me you have to optimize it to work on the Steam Deck, which is even less powerful? Oh, well I guess that would be the bottleneck and not the Series S. Good to know that this entire comment of yours was completely irrelevant.
I have plenty more I could say on the matter, but I've got something else I need to do. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, share this video, all that good stuff. Big Man Thunders, out!
And just like that, that shitty comment is over. So I guess the takeaway here is, fuck it, I don't know, think before you speak, I guess. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe for more, and tell me what you thought of this clown in the comments section. Anyways, that's it. Peace!